Good morning and welcome to this webcast of the webcast of the undocking and return of the second visiting crew of the Salyut 8 space station known as EP-2. The crew had spent just over 2 days in space and will shortly be undocking for return to Space Launch Complex 46. The crew launched on Wednesday evening on board Gratitude and docked to the propulsion and observatory module at approximately half an hour after launch on Wednesday evening. The crew have now spent just over 2 days in space and will be heading home shortly. Salyut 8's second visiting crew, known as EP-2, composed of 3 astronauts that visited the EO5 or the 5th resident crew on board the space station, which had a crew of 4, bringing the crew size of the entire station to 7 when the mission docked on Wednesday evening, breaking the record for the most crew spent on board the space station. The previous record was set by the first visiting crew back last September when there were 6 astronauts on board. Undocking is scheduled for about a minute or so from now. Undocking confirmed at 1:26:34 AM British Summer Time. The second visiting crew is now slowly drifting away from and below the space station. The 5th resident crew, currently on board the space station, will be undocking in their spacecraft 2 weeks from now. They have now spent just over a week in space. Their undocking is scheduled for about the same time in 2 weeks' time on Saturday the 9th of August. scheduled time to undock will be approximately 1:30 a.m, about the same time as the undocking of this spacecraft. The spacecraft being, of course, Gratitude. The spacecraft that is currently docked to the space station is Vigilance, which the resident crew launched aboard just over a week ago. At the time of undocking, the space station was about 81,450 meters above the surface, which is approximately 50.6 miles. The crew will shortly be performing a 564 meter per second deorbit burn, which will put them on course to re-enter the atmosphere and land at Space Launch Complex 46. An 8.8 meters per second correction burn is about to be performed. The crew will shortly be re-entering the atmosphere and the antenna will be facing downwards during the entire re-entry. This has been and still is the normal procedure for Columbar spacecraft returning to Space Launch Complex 46 at the end of missions. The crew are expected to experience roughly between 2.5 and 3 Gs during re-entry, although G-forces could be higher and the crew are ready for higher G-forces if necessary. Gratitude has now re-entered the atmosphere. Maximum G-force experience was 2.596 Gs. The crew has now passed through maximum deceleration. Parachute deployment is expected at about 8,000 meters above the surface. Parachutes deployed. Later than expected, but still within tolerance. Parachutes have now been fully deployed. Standing by for touchdown. Touchdown confirmed at 1:42:37 AM British Summer Time. The second visiting crew to Salyut 8 has successfully returned home after 54 hours in space, or 2 days and 6 hours. And with the touchdown concludes the webcast of the undocking and return of the second visiting crew to the Salyut 8 space station. We hope you have enjoyed this webcast, and I'll see you all